unfairness is, and then unfairness stems to everything, doesn't it? So racism, sexism, transgender issues. For me personally, every person has the right to live the way they want to, as long as they're not harming anybody else. And that's the gist of it.
Hello, my name is Ed Poole and I'm a political activist and NHS safety manager. Today, I'm talking to one of the candidates in the upcoming local elections from the Breakthrough Party. Full disclosure, for those of you who don't know, I'm a member of Breakthrough, but my interviews are about giving people a platform, not trying to catch them out, so it shouldn't affect anything. Hi, Nazma, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Ed, it's an absolute delight. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
No problem. So can you tell us a bit about yourself, about your background?
Okay, well, first and foremost, probably I'm a mother of 5. I've been living in the area I do for about 16 years now. My parents are migrants. My dad came in the 60s and my mum joined him. I and my brother joined my mum in the late 70s. Grew up mostly in Hammersmith until 1986, when my dad realised we needed a garden, so moved out of Hammersmith. Grew up in Bedford, lovely Catholic school, and it's my Catholic school that's given me the education and confidence that I have now. And then, fast forward, I now moved to Birmingham in 2006. I run a few nurseries, and I did my degree when I was 37 as well. So my life's been a bit of all sorts, really, not the traditional. And now there's a point that's come that I've got time now to do something really for the community now. I've been busy doing things for myself, for my family, setting everything up. Children are grown older now, and now, I thought it's time for me to do something for my community.
How did you get involved in politics?
Oh, okay. It's one of those things that I've always been interested in, but like I said before, just never had time to really take forward. And then I think it was a few years ago I joined the Labour Party. My local MP is really good. She's come down to my nursery. We've had a few interactions, and I've supported her. And then I cancelled the membership. I think when possibly when Keir Starmer came on board, and I thought it would be good, and it just didn't happen the way I did. But then last summer, I was sitting there. I was envelope stuffing for Shabana. She had a huge mailing out, and I was sitting there watching the news, and I was looking at the Tories and the Labour MPs, and I thought to myself, my goodness me, I thought intelligent people had to be in politics. I really thought, they had to be Oxford or some sort of high level educated. But listening to these lot, I just realised, no, you just have to have common sense, empathy, and actually want to change things. So I then joined the Labour Party again, and I knew in Birmingham we were having May elections for councillor in 2022. So I joined last summer, got the interview, and passed, and they were allocating me a ward. But Labour's ethos didn't fit with me at all. I was going through each day, and I was feeling very uncomfortable at the way their processes were, the things I was seeing on national TV, and the anti-Semitism row, Corbyn. It was just all just didn't sit right with me. So I was on Twitter, and Breakthrough came up. And it really resonated with me, a nice fresh party, democratic, socialist, but also the fact that it's not focusing on youth. But one of the things that we really have to, we all have to agree that the last 12 years, the youth are the ones that have been let down. There's been nothing for them, right from university fees increase to taking away the education maintenance grants to rubbish jobs with rubbish pay. Never been able to buy a house. I mean, it supports everybody, but it really did, most of the members are youths as well. They're obviously wanting to do something, and I thought, you know what, this is a party I can really resonate with. So I resigned my Labour membership on the 31st of December and joined Breakthrough on the 1st of January, because I thought, new year, let's start as we mean to go on. And when I joined, obviously I've been part of policies, been part of, the actual makeup. Then And the fact of being part of policy making really made a huge difference, because all these years we're stuck with whatever Labour and Tories give us, aren't we? When you know, there's no two ways about it. But the fact that this was right from the beginning, grassroots, you can actually say what you want to say, and you know, there's a group of people, we get together and we're talking about what we would like to see happening in immigration or happening in education, and it was fantastic, and it really made me feel really hopeful, because if we got these policies and we could actually use these on the country, my goodness, the country would change for the better. And then obviously there was the position of party treasurer that came up. You know, I've got business and finance experience, so I applied and I got it. And that just met, you know, it's just given me another angle on how, you know, we're a very new party, just over 1 year old. So it's almost like, you know, we're moulding it to become, you know, an established party. So yeah, that's how I sort of got into politics and breakthrough. With regards to generally helping the community, I've always done that. I mean, I opened my preschool in 2010 on the back of having done some consultancy for a local school, um, for their nursery. And when these children moved up to reception, they were always behind. And we're talking about ethnic minority children. I mean, I'm in an area where it's 99% ethnic. And the feelings was, oh, well, they do make progress, but not enough. And in my head, I'm thinking, these children are almost born speaking 2 languages, maybe 3. How can they not make progress? You know, these are very clever children. What's going on? And then that's when I went and opened my preschool to support these children and families so that they don't get left behind. But in doing that, every family has come to me with issues. So organically and naturally, it's just been part of my everyday job, really.
So I've obviously mentioned education and preschool and so on. What other areas are you passionate about?
Well, for me, it's the child, obviously, but it's the families, because the area we live in, unfortunately, again, we're labelled as deprived and disadvantaged, and that almost comes with the sort of connotation as these people don't care about their children, they don't care about education, they don't care about anything. But actually, probably, you know, Asian parents and Black parents are probably the most passionate about their children's education. But it's the systems that are barriers. So breaking down the system, supporting, you know, if a parent's got a child with special education needs, first of all, it's hard for the parent to accept that. If they don't speak English, they don't know the system, it's 10 times worse. So for me, it's always about fighting the systems, really. So if there's anything there, immigration's another one. I mean, I've supported lots of people in applications where they've been on the no recourse to public funds. Now, these families don't get a penny. They're allowed to work, but it's very difficult to find work when you really don't know what your immigration status is. A lot of employers don't do, and then a lot of employers actually exploit you, so that you're usually on the 0-hour contracts, or, you know, not work. And these families aren't allowed to apply for anything. So immigration, education, just, I mean, Ed, if I'm going to be honest, just social justice. I absolutely hate unfairness. It really gripes me when I see people being treated unfairly just because they can't speak English. I mean, I won't go into the racism bit because that's a whole new thing, but yeah, just because they can't speak English and they don't know their rights, people think, or organizations and education establishments think, that they can, you know, sort of do one with these families and children. So yeah, makes me mad.
So obviously, if you're standing for the Breakthrough Party, you're going to be one of not many Breakthrough councillors on that council. So what would you do on the council? How would you be effective?
I have done. I mean, being in the community, my preschools in the community, people, especially my families. I've had over 100 families, I think, maybe even more. But people know that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So there's been instances where there's been issues with the school dinners. I've been there fighting. You know, there's been issues when there's you know, something that's happened in the community. I've sent the email off. I've been the one. So they know that I'm a doer. So for me, I think if I do get elected, just attending the meetings, because the meetings are there, you know, you obviously get your list, attending the meetings and letting the views of my constituents be clear. And that's another thing that's not happened. They haven't made the effort to get out and get the views of the constituents. So when I said, well, how, I mean, I only found out there was a meeting because I went online. No one's actually told me there's a meeting. So, and they said, well, it's all online. Now, bearing in mind, again, Aston, quite you know, we have got quite we've got a young population, but we've got an older population. Access to IT is not good either. People probably don't know how to access these meetings. It's almost like they don't want people to attend. So I think it's going to be it's going to be quite tough. But I think if I go along to the meetings, I do my part, bring it back into the constituents, bring it back into my community, then we can hopefully make things happen.
Obviously, Breakthrough is a new party, and you'll be running against kind of incumbent Labour councillors who've been around. I think you said 10 years before we started the recording. So how we win? How can you beat them? What's the plan?
To actually be visible, because our councillors are invisible. We've not seen our councillors anywhere, and it's not just me. Everybody I talk to doesn't even know who their councillor is. So it's like, well, do you know who your councillor is? No, they don't know who their councillor is. Second thing is the fact that nothing's been done in Aston. Over the last 10 years, Aston has depleted. We've gone backwards. So we had a local swimming bath and sort of health centre that closed. We had we have no youth centre that was closed. We don't have a children's centre. We don't have a family centre. We don't have a community centre in the sense of where community can get together. You can hire it out, but we've got no community events happening. The litter state, the state of Aston at the moment, for anyone to come in from outside will actually think we are living in a dustbin. And I post the videos and I post the pictures quite often on my Facebook. When I questioned this with my counsellor, she turned around and said that the people of Aston are dirty. But so I said, okay, what? So she said to me, whenever you see any fly tipping or something, just email me and I'll get it cleaned. And I'm thinking, well, what's the actual protocol? Is there a monthly thing that they're meant to do? Is there, you know, there is no answer. So at the moment, whenever I'm walking around Aston, I see something like, you know, I take a picture, send it off to her. We have got a huge fly tipping problem. And one of the reasons is we used to have CCTV cameras and they took them away. So we've got certain spots that it happens all the time. I don't think I mean, one of the things that I'm looking at is solution. So yes, we all know we've got a litter problem. What's the solution? It's no point just moaning about it. One of the things I was thinking, are our bins too small? Maybe people have too much rubbish per week, or do we need educating in recycling? Because we have a recycling bin as well. Our local place where you what's it called? Where you take your rubbish, that closed down. The tip. Yeah, the local one closed down. So again, people, where are they meant to go? So it's almost like, because nobody's raised this at the council, they're aware of it, but because nobody's actually gone on at them, it's fine. Leave Aston as it is. I think I will win if I can say to people, look, this is what I'm going to do, and actually show them this is what I'm going to do. So as an example, I've got a litter pick planned. We've never had a litter pick. I can't remember having a litter pick in Aston. I've not seen my councillor do anything. I've got a litter pick planned for the 26th of March, and I'm hoping to do these a bit more regularly now. And then what I've done is a local ward of mine, Erdington, where the by-election, they've actually got something called Litter Busters, where they've got a group of people that do it quite regularly. So I'm going to try and sort of model that and bring it across into Aston. Another thing we don't have is, you know, you go into certain towns and wards and they have like little, on the roundabouts, they have lovely flowers and they have like lots of, you know, plants, and, you know, you're going down the road and on the side of the railings are little flower, but we don't have anything like that. We have nothing. It's so dim. So that's what I'm really wanted to hope to say to the residents. Look, if we clean up and we keep ourselves clean, you know, and we can live in a really nice place. But ultimately, the council does have a legal responsibility as well. But that's the thing, I don't know what it is apart from emptying the bins. So, and also start fighting to reopen services that are needed, you know, start the process, because we've got nothing. We've literally got nothing. So I think against Labour, the fact that they've been AWOL is going to help me because I've been physically here. Also, none of my councillors live in Aston. I do. It's almost like part of my job is part of it. It just doubles down. People know that if we go to Nazma, she will give us a solution. She will sort it
Yeah.
in some way. And I think hopefully that's what's going to win me the seat, because they'll know, you know what, we won't have to do anything. She will just get things done.